Hello, welcome to TFT Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my emotional exchanges. And I pull the cards in a very short reading for each sign of the zodiac. And I'm using the Santa Muerte Tarot. I love the lovely artwork here. It's by Fabio Lestrane. He's done a couple of other decks too that I really like. So I'm going to pull two cards, the top and the bottom of the deck, for each sign of the zodiac. The top card represents the challenge or opportunity, and the bottom card represents the action required. Okay, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. Start with Aries, and these are good for sun, moon, or rising. Okay. Opportunity or challenge. It's the Five of Pentacles upright. It's a challenge. It could be an opportunity, but it's a challenge. Emotionally speaking, you somehow feel like you're out of it. You're out of some connection. And you feel like you're on the outside looking inside. That's a way I often like to look at it. And you feel alone. And maybe really, in your own way, emotionally at your low point. Okay, Aries, so what is the action required? And it's so simple. It's the Six of Swords upright. And so the action required, Aries, is that you need to navigate away from this thinking or this reality. If this is a reality where you're just not fitting in, or you feel like you're just always on the outside, and of course, this could be a metaphor. I mean, this could be talking about your connection with your family or your workplace or a relationship that's more interpersonal. But this is saying you don't belong there, maybe, and maybe you do have to consider why you're there and how you can move away from it, because maybe there's something better for you, Aries. All right, we're on Taurus then. Sun, moon, or rising. Top card. What is the challenge or opportunity? It's the reversed King of Cups. The challenge is not to let yourself become so untethered to your emotions, Taurus, that maybe something is sort of just turning you into a mean person, a meaner version of yourself, that somehow you're unable to feel empathy or to feel like there's anyone you care to give any sort of care to, any sort of love. So don't be that person, Taurus, but what is the action then that you may are required? And it's the Six of Pentacles. And of course I look at that, and it's a clock that's swinging, a pendulum swinging. And there's something, nice here. But maybe what the message is, Taurus, is that you can't always expect to just receive. You have to give too. And sometimes you are the person that has given a lot, and then maybe it's someone's turn to give to you. So remember that reciprocity works both ways, and welcome a small miracle into your life, Taurus. Someone will care. Okay, so now we're going to have Gemini. Sun, Moon, or Rising. And once again, I'm using the Santa Muerte Tarot. It's by the branch of Llewellyn that's called Lo Scarabeo. It's a beautiful colored deck. Very, very moody. I like it. Okay, so Gemini. What's the challenge or opportunity? And it's the upright Two of Swords. Well, the challenge or the opportunity is that maybe you have to realize you do have that power to rend it, to rend a decision, or to rend the fabric of something that you need to change. In practical terms, having the power and using it may be two different things, especially in the emotional context, Gemini. And so maybe this is an opportunity for you to maybe change course a little bit without seemingly compromising yourself, your own nature, Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising, to possibly be two-minded about certain issues, or seen two ways, or seen more ways. So consider your ability to emotionally discern totally. What is that action? I sort of feel like I just described it, but here is the action then. Gemini, it's the Sun. And of course, Mercury is a ruling planet of Gemini, and it's the closest planet to the Sun. So maybe the action required is to try to shed more light and try to work on what is going to work the best, what your energy or influence or illumination can bring to that fertile soil that you are cultivating there, emotionally speaking or not. All right, Gemini. Okay, so now Cancer. Sun, Moon, or Rising. I think I get a better shuffle when I do the riffle, the more traditional riffle. But my fingers are getting old and achy after 50 some years of working with tarot and larger size decks. This deck feels right. So this is Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the challenge or opportunity? To trust that the universe will have you, that you can emotionally or otherwise take some sort of leap into the unknown. And so Cancers, maybe emotionally speaking, you have a chance to really move into a new direction that has a lot of possibilities. You're sort of aware of where the consequences could go in either respect, but you want to emotionally trust the situation. It almost sounds like falling in love in a way. Of course, it does. The action required. It's the Three of Swords reversed. So maybe the action required is to remember that although your heart may have been broken before, you can rise to the occasion of emotional happiness, because I think this could be, in some ways, for some Cancers. This is a return. This is a recovery. This is a getting over a heartbreak. So in order to strike out new and trusting, you have to be fully healed. That's pretty easy. Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Top card, challenge or opportunity for the Leo. It's the reverse Knight of Pentacles. Something may be causing you to really stagnate on an emotional issue. It's almost like maybe you want to sort of ignore it in some respect and maybe think that it's going to pass by, but it's not going to really do that. It might really like kind of stagnate to a point that others notice and need to remind you about it in a way. It feels like your challenge is figuring out how you can get over this unwillingness to move ahead. And it almost sounds like, once again, an emotional difficulty in a relationship, perhaps. That's why we're doing this show. So, what is the action required? And it's the upright Eight of Cups. And so maybe this is about saying you have to move on. That the first issue is probably a situation, including a relationship or a situation that has a great deal of emotional involvement from you, but something about it just didn't work anymore, and you're letting it fester there, but you should move on to something better. That the action required is realizing that there is a better star to hitch yourself to. Door number 2. And that was Leo, so we're on Virgo. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Okay, the first card is the challenge or the opportunity for the Virgos. It's a challenge. You sort of feel like you are not in control. And boy, that is a challenge to a Virgo. I'll just have to be blunt about that. Your nature really wants you to have a lot of influence over most situations, especially the ones that maybe are closer to you emotionally. You may find that you're in a situation where you're not able to have that control, and that maybe someone else has more control than you, and you're trying to figure out if you can level off or do better. And maybe Virgo, this is always your challenge in a way, but it is especially at this time, because I think it's talking about a specific relationship. So what is the action required? Four of Wands. The action required is you have to realize that maybe you and whatever, if it's a relationship or if it's just a situation with people, you're on the same side. Emotionally speaking, you really want to be together on this, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to celebrate that emotionally and otherwise. So I think Virgo, a part of this then is really realizing that this is more about sharing than about who is on top. All right, we will move on to Libra. Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Libras. What is your challenge or opportunity? It's the Hangman reversed. From an emotional point of view, I think you have to realize that how you get it is how you get it. That it's not going to take a sacrifice on your part, maybe to achieve your emotional goals. That some of that could be seen as playing a martyr that you don't need to be. And I think the challenge for you is to not feel you have, or not try, to give up something for some greater good. So in other words, if this is something you want, then you shouldn't let somebody else take it just because you think it's being better to do that. You might want to pursue emotionally what you want to pursue. So I've sort of just described what the action required is. But yes, once again, it's the Eight of Cups. And I think this is saying move forward. Move emotionally towards what will make you happy and away from what may not be. And that you don't necessarily have to give up. You just have to be true to yourself, Libra. That really fits in a way. Okay, so Scorpio. That's my sign. Emotionally speaking, and of course, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What's going on, Scorpios? What is your shining opportunity or challenge? You have the Wheel of Fortune. You have the ability to be lucky right now, but as a challenge or an opportunity, I think this is saying what you want emotionally is really very available to you at this time. You may have to be willing to take a chance, but the odds or fate or whatever seem to suggest that this is all going to work out for you. And of course, it seems like it's, maybe an enterprise of some sort. A new relationship is an enterprise. So what is the action that is required then? And it's the Nine of Pentacles. In order to take this chance maybe on what you want, I think you have to become comfortable with what it really means. That it may actually change what it is, Scorpio, that you love or enjoy in your life, or your status in your life. And that maybe it's a change you have to be willing to accept those consequences. Because the action required maybe says, will I or won't I want to remain comfortable in all this? Scorpio. All right, now we're on Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Opportunity or challenge. Bingo. You hit the jackpot. It's the upright lovers. Sagittarians, there's an opportunity right now for you to maybe go more than one way, especially when it comes to what emotionally really seems to captivate you at this time or seems to draw you. And these two ways may have some fundamental differences, or there may be things about them that mean you have to kind of operate differently. And, you are multiformed, Sagittarians. You have a centaur, so you have an aspect of two different beings about you. It's something to think about. What is the action required then, Sagittarians? And it's the reverse star. So, Sagittarians, maybe this says you have to be realistic, that some of what this is about is a fantasy. And you have to be able to decide how much of the fantasy you're willing to connect to, or how much you just have to accept in general. Because from an emotional standpoint, this could really have some interesting consequences. And there's a big feeling of not being fulfilled in the long run. Sometimes you're at the point where you want a relationship to be your forever relationship. So choose wisely. All right, we're on Capricorn. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Capricorn. What is the challenge or opportunity? It's the Fool again. Capricorns, you too may be able to emotionally have some new adventure at this time. Something that seems to be unexpected but allows you to emotionally feel you can trust it to happen. Something that really feels comfortable and inviting. So it sounds like it could be a new relationship or a new enhancement to a relationship. Or it could just be something happening within the overall situations or context of your life that brings a new opportunity that really is welcome at this time, emotionally speaking at least. So what is the action required on that? And it's the reversed Five of Cups. So the action required is maybe to realize that this situation has happened before in a way, or it will remind you of something when it happens, and that it may feel a lot like something that got away from you before. So like it's like another chance at the one that got away. But it could also just feel like something really warm and inviting too. I mean, I wouldn't even rule out that this is like a very warm, emotional reunion with somebody from your past or somebody from your family that you have not seen in a long time. I have some cousins or two that I haven't seen in ages, and I think about them all the time, but we're not able to connect other than, social media, phone calls. Anyway, that's what I got, Capricorns. It feels like you have an unexpected opportunity to connect, and the action required maybe is also saying too that it's a letting go of bygones, that maybe there were emotional reasons for the separation, and maybe this is the time to let that pass. Good luck, Capricorn. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hey, that's a little bit of me. I have Rising and Moon in Capricorn. Okay, so we are on to Aquarius. Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, you are lucky too. The emotional-based opportunity or challenge is again the Wheel of Fortune. Aquarians, this is very fitting for you in a way. You sort of feel like something has really shifted in a way, emotionally speaking, and you now have an opportunity to interact with this situation. In a way, Aquarians, it almost feels like maybe the one thing you really wanted is now free. Like maybe there was a relationship with someone else and you just couldn't get involved with it until it was over. And it's not necessarily a person. I mean, maybe it was just some other kind of situation. You didn't want to join a club because that person you hate was in the club, but they left, so now you can join the club. Well, that's me, the Scorpio, speaking. Anyway, what is the action required? And it is the reversed Page of Pentacles. I think something new needs to happen, and some of that is maybe a new philosophy on your part. I think you have to maybe invest a little time in seeking some other information or opinions, kind of layer some nuance over yourself. And I think that maybe a part of this is saying that if this is an opportunity coming to you in a way that some of this is common sense, that this isn't necessarily about pretense of any sort, that some of this will just be about common sense, and that you need to realize that how you approach the situation, and that not everything has to be about life or death. So that's what I got for the Aquarians. And we will now move on to Pisces. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Your challenge or opportunity this week. And it's kind of where we start, I think. It's the Five of Pentacles. It's upright. You too, and I think it was Aries actually at the beginning, kind of like where we started. You need to consider, Pisces, that emotionally speaking, you're only really alone if you choose to be. And that sometimes, you feel like nobody likes you, you want to eat worms, all of that, But some of it is just figuring out that you do fit in. You sort of need to figure out exactly where you do fit in. You need the key to that door that is specific for you. And so to some degree, Pisces, this is saying this is a comfort level, that you have to feel comfortable where you're at, and that you don't feel comfortable everywhere. You shouldn't try to be there. So what is the action required, Pisces? It's the reverse Knight of Wands. A part of this, it's like what I just said. You don't have to be the most charismatic or crowd-pleasing person. You don't have to be the one who draws all the attention to themselves. You don't have to be braver if you don't want to be. But a level of bravery is possibly implied here, emotionally speaking. This is maybe just saying, really, like I said with the first card, you have to know where to play your strengths, emotionally or otherwise, where you focus and where you think you can make some progress, emotionally speaking. So if this is about a relationship, I don't think it is. I think it's just about, getting along in life and maybe figuring out where you fit in. I mean, for some, it will be about a relationship. But either way, Pisces, it feels like you have to learn how to be comfortable with yourself to some degree and realize that you're where you need to be sometimes, and if not, then that's what it takes to move you there. It's not going to come to you. You have to move there. So you just have to decide you're comfortable with that. Easier said than done, I know. Hey, I was there. I'm a water sign, so I have that tendency sometimes where I want to gush and flow, and then sometimes I want to recede and don't come near me, I'm receding. Metaphors abound. Anyway, that's it for the signs of the zodiac. I'm so glad you came today. It's been a long time, it feels like, since I felt exactly as good as I do today about this reading. So I hope you can appreciate that. We love you all. We appreciate you very much, as they say these days. We're going to be back tomorrow for the happy hour. That's going to be later today, or later this week. It's going to be 4 o'clock. I have to work at my regular job, so I won't be around in the morning for that. Also, too, I'm going to remind you that I've been pulling some vampire-themed tarot cards as a sort of 30 days of bite, but not really, since I'm only doing them every several days. So later on today will be Fright Night Friday, and I'm probably going to use a really cool deck. I'm going to use my Vlad Dracula tarot deck. I like it. It's really nice. So watch for that later today. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, it's Banshees Material Matters. It's recorded like this show. The difference is that we will be live in our chat room for that, and we can yak it up, drink more coffee, have some fun, explain that reading more. It's very good financial information, but it's good for all of the material sides of our lives that we might want to consider. Later on, Sunday, will be our regular live stream. That's from 2 to 4 p.m. And then another week starts with our various shows. We're in the countdown to Halloween, so we have a surprise or two, a trick or treat in store. Also remind everybody that our regular days and oracles of the day, tarot cards, oracle cards, are on X, Instagram, Bluesky, Facebook, Threads. I know I might have forgot one. Maybe not. I think it's also on YouTube as an enhanced video. So until the next time, take care. We'll see you again. Have a great, emotionally pleasant week if you can.